So Swerve Strickland was supposed to fight Keith Lee at the pay-per-view, but he didn't. And why is that? We don't know. And do the dirt sheets know? Maybe or maybe not. Keith Lee might have been injured, but he might have been pretending to be injured. But somebody on Twitter, he said on Twitter, I've been very injured. And then someone said, so that's why Keith Lee hasn't been fighting that much. So you guys should pay attention to that and stop complaining about it. And Keith Lee said, wrong.
Yeah. Like, what the hell? Yeah.
I don't know, man. Are you injured or not? But
the things wrestlers get up on Twitter.
Yeah, it's exactly like Malachi Black. Somebody was like, Malachi Black's been injured. That's why he hasn't been wrestling. And Malachi Black was like, I don't know why everybody thinks I was injured. And then it was like a ton of screenshots where Malachi Black was like, I'm injured.
Jesus God. I really don't understand what's happening with these men, and I don't know what the truth is. What I know is that Swerve ended up fighting Dustin Rhodes instead, which is funny to us because we just have no history with Dustin Rhodes except for anyway. And so Swerve was really upset. I mean, like the energy of the match was cold.
He was
Swerve
furious.
was gonna commit a murder. It's like, Dustin Rhodes is just in the crossfires of
I was genuinely worried for Dustin Rhodes. Like, I feel nothing for that man, but I was like, oh, you shouldn't die. And I think he's gonna die tonight.
Don't kill that old man. And everyone was very happily cheering him killing the old man.
Everyone
the
was
craziest thing that I learned during that match was that Dustin Rhodes isn't 65. He's 53.
Yeah, that's like Chris Jericho's age, isn't it?
I guess. Like, in my mind, actually, I never worried for his health and well-being in that match because I was kind of like, yeah, if anyone ever, like, hit Dustin Rhodes too hard, it would be like a scene in a movie where, like, a toddler is really, really mad at his dad, but then the dad just hugs him and holds him anyway to be like, I love you. And then the kid calms down and starts crying. I'm like, that's what it's like before he dies, that's what would happen instead because he's 70.
I love thinking about Dustin Rhodes just grabbing Swerve and just being like, it's not your fault.
Just holding him tight. I know you're very upset about the Keith Lee situation.
I know you're mad. I know
you're
having
mad
some
at Keith
big
Lee. Feelings. Yeah.
Come here. Give me a hug. It's okay.
He's doing some gentle parenting. Yeah.
Swerve is hitting him and he's like, that's okay. I still love
you. It's okay.
I still love you. There's going to be like 50 pay-per-views this year. You'll get another one.
You get another one. Yeah.
You get another one.
It's all coming up Swerve this year. And it is all coming up Swerve this year. Because what happened on number 1 Dynamite of the year? Swerve and... What happened? Swerve and Danny Garcia main event. And they just do that. They do one thing.
What did they do, Allie?
What did they do, Allie? Allie, say what they did.
Say it.
Guys, they do what they need to do.
What needed to be done.
It had to happen, and it happened. They made music with their bodies.
Music is not what I thought you were going to say.
They made a certain kind of music. They had.
I'm immediately singing the song from All Dogs Go to Heaven. Let's make music together.
It is as a tweet that I read today said, as the French say, le petit unalive. And that's so if you know what's happening here, then you know. So sexy. Such a good, sexy, erotic, sensual, erotic match.
It was wild.
Yeah.
Swerve has really stepped up his game in so many regards, and I would say his sexual game has really...
Is he wearing that eyeliner all the time now? It's so good.
He didn't used to wear it, right? I was like, I feel like I would have noticed it a year ago,
I don't think he wore it with Hangman anyways, and that's definitely when I started laser tracking every movement.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly what he's using, but it's like you can just see like his eyes are really highlighted. They're just like really popping.
Yeah.
It's really, I do feel like he's like, oh, there's a certain kind of fan that I can pander to, and he's really pandering to us, and that's why Swerve's my favorite. No, it's incredible.
We love it.
Unbelievable.
Do Do men feel like this all the time? Just in
I
every
think
piece
so.
of media
And
they
that's why
watch?
they go so
powerful.
loco in their reigns. Like,
Yeah.
you can't have. I can see how you can't have too much of this. It's a very
No.
rich dessert. Okay,
Feels great.
Yeah.
And then, like, if people start cutting into it, you're like, there's one movie aimed at women. You're like, what the hell? I didn't like this at all. Like, I could see
Yeah.
how I could get high on that.
Yeah, I guess men are justified.
Yeah.
I guess they've been justified this whole time.
Sweet little guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they fight. So good. Swerve won. Now, Leah, I think you remember what happened here better than I do, because I had half thought that the show was over. We were like 6 minutes over.
Yeah.
Like we had
Yeah.
a big overrun. So I kind of zoned out, and then all of a sudden just heard Hangman music and I was back. But you know what preceded that.
Yeah, so Swerve won, but then like he still started beating up Daniel Garcia, and it was like, well, this is sore loser behavior, Swerve. But so there was just like this moment where it was like, well, what's gonna happen? And Daddy Magic jumped into the ring, but then Daddy Magic got beat up too, and it was just like, oh, well, you didn't do a very good job of defending yourself. And so like I was convinced, I was like, Bryan Danielson is going to come out. He's going to save Daniel Garcia, and it's going to kick off something there. And I was excited. And then it was Hangman's music, and I had to have like a really like weird moment where I was like, no, I'm happy about this. I had like a moment where I was like, oh, it's not Bryan Danielson, which just never happened to me in my life. I've never been like, oh, it wasn't Bryan Danielson. Like, I had to like,
Our resident Bryan
reverse
Danielson
the car
hater.
around and be like, no, Hangman. And then I saw that fucking mustache and was like,
Oh my
okay.
God.
Like,
Well, I clocked that mustache early. He had a brief backstage segment early in the show. The second I saw that mustache, I said to myself, "Awooga!" I said, "I like what I'm seeing."
I believe what you typed into our group chat is he's stomping out of the 70s and into my heart.
I did say that, and I stand by it. So, what a look! I mean,
Yeah. You really just don't see that kind of look anymore. And it's got to take a little bit of effort to trim the beard back to really let the angry mustache pop. Loved it.
Did you see the butcher was like, he has to just shave the whole beard. He's really got to go full mustache. I've been telling him.
I didn't.
I love the
see
butcher.
that. He and Swerve, little face to face, little kissing pose, and then mega fighting, just wailing on each other. They sent out every spare security guard they had to break these guys up, but they were still trying to get at each other so hard. And Swerve, of course, had been saying throughout the show, "This is my year. I will be getting the belt." And Hangman is just howling, "You will never have it," at him, which is so hot.
So hot.
So hot. It's incredible. I never thought they were going to put these guys back together so soon. Like, I thought they would have like a years-long thing, but I was like not hoping for this at all. I thought there would be a refractory period, but there's not. We're just going for it.
Right back in there.
Whew.
I did crack my shit up because the security guards got them separated, but then the side that had Hangman lost their grip on him, and Hangman dove at Swerve and was swinging, and they like, because of where the camera was, it was close up on one security guard who just very clearly was like, oh, I don't get paid enough for this, and like kind of like backed away and was like, no, thank you.
Wow. I'm just so happy. I don't know what's going to happen. And probably we don't really have that much time to speculate about it, but I'm just so happy that it's like these men are in the title scene. Like, because what did Joe call both of them out in his pre-tape?
Yeah.
He did, right? Yeah. So it's like they're both in the mix and they're mad at each other and they want the belt, and Hangman wants, it's like, it's very sexy for Hangman not to be like, I want the belt, to just be like, I don't want you to have the belt.
Yeah.
Which I just love.
Yeah.
Well, someone was suggesting, and I'm so sorry if it was One Nation Radio, if that was stealing from, but I can't remember that.
We're on a network together now, so
yeah. What's their opinions are our opinions, and they're of course welcome to our opinions.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Like to.
Any of these great opinions we've been espousing, please feel free to borrow.
But if Swerve takes it off Joe, and then Hangman takes it off Swerve, hello?
Oh, that would be so erotic.
Yeah.
Man. And Swerve went on Freddie Prinze Jr.'s podcast this week
he
and
did.
talked about motivations and how they built the Hangman feud in a way that was so erotic. And also, I actually went and listened to it. I didn't just read the thing. And
Wow.
it was funny because Swerve was talking all about that, and then Freddie Prinze Jr. was like, "It's so funny, you sound just like Adam Copeland. Like, he really took me under his wing at WWE and taught me about motivation and building a match." And Swerve was like, "Oh yeah, he's my mentor. I'm just that's why I sound so much like him."
I was so surprised when I read that. Because I just didn't know. Some of the mentor situations are so clear, based on what you see in the on-screen product. But I didn't know that, and I loved it. It made me think really highly of Adam Copeland.
I know. I was like, wow. Well, Adam Copeland knows what he's doing, because this is a fantastic. I love to hear it from Swerve.
Yeah. We should link to that quote. Maybe.
Yeah, we should. But it's crazy that it's the exact wording that we always say, where it's Swerve is Hangman and I sat down and we said, why are we doing this? How do we feel? What are we trying to achieve here? And I'm like, oh my God.
I know.
Everything we're always asking.
Please, know what you want and why you're doing it. I know. And then he also talked about how he and Hangman took down wrestling tropes, because they weren't just being a heel face situation. It was they were two guys wanting revenge and stuff. And I was like, thank you. Please tell the wrestling people who keep talking about how Swerve, the weird stuff they were saying about him being a babyface when he was doing horror movie stuff.
Yeah.
It's
it's a mix. It's
reassuring.
A mix.
It's a mix. Yeah.
Someone get Dave on the line and say, Dave, just because a man staples himself in the chest
doesn't make him a babyface.
Doesn't necessarily make him a babyface. I think it's very fun to know that they are actively playing in that space.
Yeah. Loved it.
Yeah, everything about it really great.